me sitting in front of the camera, looking visibly nervous. My hands are clasped, I'm avoiding direct eye contact initially, then force myself to look at the lens. My voice is a little shaky. Hi everyone. This isn't an easy video for me to make. In fact, it's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I've been sitting on this for months, literally wrestling with myself every single day, every single night. But the weight of it, the absolute crushing weight, has become too much to bear. I need to say it out loud. I need to get it off my chest. I cheated. I take a shaky breath, pressing my lips together for a moment, eyes a little moist. I cheated on my boyfriend. And not just with anyone. I cheated with my boss at a company party. God, even just saying it feels disgusting, horrible. I'm not looking for sympathy here. I know what I did was wrong. There's no excuse, no justification. I need to talk about it. I need to unpack it for my own sanity, even if it means exposing myself to the world and to judgment. Let me set the scene a little. My boyfriend Mark and I have been together for 5 years, 5 good years. Or at least, I thought they were. We had our routines, our comfort, our shared dreams. Things had perhaps become a little predictable, I guess. Comfortable. Maybe I took that comfort for granted. I don't know. I certainly wasn't actively unhappy, not in a way that would make me think I'd ever do something like this. And then there's my job. I love my job. And my boss, Ben, he's a great boss. Professional, driven, supportive. I'd always respected him. We had a good working relationship, nothing more, nothing less. Or so I thought. The party was our annual holiday gathering. Big event, everyone dresses up, open bar. Usually, Mark would come with me, but he had a last-minute work commitment that night. I remember feeling a little disappointed, a little lonely even, heading there by myself. I promised him I'd call when I was heading home. A perfectly normal, loving promise. The night started out fine. I caught up with colleagues, laughed, had a few drinks. Nothing out of the ordinary. Then Ben joined our little group. He looked good, really good. He was wearing this dark suit, and his eyes had that sparkle they get when he's relaxed and not in boss mode. We started talking, just light office banter, about the past year, our team's successes. The drinks were flowing, and with each one, the air around us seemed to get a little charged. He started complimenting me. Not overtly, not in a creepy way, but subtly. He'd lean in closer when he spoke, his hand occasionally brushing my arm when he laughed at something I said. He'd say things like, "You really shone this year, you know that?" and hold my gaze just a second too long. And a part of me, a part I didn't even know existed, started to buzz. It was thrilling. Absolutely intoxicating. The kind of thrill that's half excitement, half terror. Like standing on the edge of a cliff, knowing you shouldn't jump, but wanting to feel the rush of the fall. I could feel myself leaning into it, soaking up the attention, the feeling of being seen and desired in a way that felt new and dangerous. My internal monologue was screaming, "Stop! You have a boyfriend! This is your boss!" But the other voice, the one fueled by alcohol and the sudden surge of adrenaline, was louder, whispering, "Just a little more. What's the harm?" We drifted away from the main group somehow. It wasn't planned, it just happened. We ended up in a quieter corridor, near some offices. The music was muffled here, the lights dimmer. He put a hand on the small of my back as we talked, a warm weight that sent shivers down my spine. We were talking about something trivial, but neither of us was really listening to the words. It was all in the eye contact, the proximity, the unspoken tension. And then he leaned in, and he kissed me. I visibly flinch, closing my eyes for a brief moment, remembering. It was like a switch flipped. Every logical thought, every moral compass, every memory of Mark just vanished. The world narrowed to just Ben and me, his lips on mine, the taste of whiskey, the heat of his skin. It was electric, forbidden, so incredibly wrong, and yet, in that moment, so intensely right. My hands went to his shoulders, pulling him closer. There was a raw, our primal surge of instinct. It felt reckless, dangerous, exhilarating. We stumbled into an empty office nearby. I remember the scent of stale carpet and cleaning products mixing with his cologne, the hushed sounds of the party outside, the frantic pounding of my own heart. It was quick. It was messy. It was purely physical, driven by that surge of reckless abandon. And the whole time, a tiny, dark corner of my mind was screaming, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" But I pushed it down, drowning it out with the thrill of the moment, the audacity of it, the sheer taboo. I was a different person in that office, someone I barely recognized. My gaze drops again, unable to meet the camera. I take another deep, shaky breath. And then it was over. The second it was over, it was like the coldest, most shocking water had been dumped on me. The thrill evaporated, leaving behind a bitter, acrid taste of shame. I looked at Ben and the sparkle was gone. The attraction, the connection, the forbidden excitement, it was all replaced by a cold dread. He looked a little sheepish, a little too quick to say, "Well, that was intense. We should probably get back." The walk back to the party was a blur. Every step felt heavy, burdened. My stomach churned. The music suddenly sounded loud and garish. Every face I saw seemed to be looking at me, judging me, knowing my secret. I felt dirty, contaminated. I made my excuses and left shortly after. The drive home, that was the worst. Every streetlight seemed to mock me. Every song on the radio was about love or betrayal or regret. I kept replaying it, every touch, every kiss, every whisper. And then the image of Mark, sleeping peacefully in our bed, came crashing into my mind. The man who trusted me, who loved me, who thought I was coming home from a normal company party. I walked into our apartment that night feeling like a ghost, like a complete stranger in my own home. He was asleep. I just stood there watching him, the guilt crushing me, pressing down on my chest until it felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like the most despicable person on the planet. A liar, a cheat. Since then, it's been hell. Absolute hell. Every time Mark touches me, every time he says he loves me, it feels like a dagger. I can barely look him in the eye. I feel like there's this gaping chasm between us, filled with my secret. And at work, seeing Ben, it's a constant reminder. There's this unspoken tension, this shared secret that hangs in the air between us. We're polite, professional, overly so. But every time our eyes meet, there's that flicker of acknowledgement, and the shame washes over me all over again. I haven't slept properly in months. My mind is a battlefield. I swing between intense self-loathing and a desperate need to just rewind time. I keep asking myself, why? Why did I do it? Was I craving attention? Was I bored? Was I just weak? And honestly, I don't have a good answer. It just happened in a moment of intoxicated recklessness, and now it feels like it's poisoned everything. I'm telling you all this because I can't carry it alone anymore. The weight is too immense. I feel like I'm drowning in guilt. I don't know what comes next. Do I tell Mark? How could I possibly inflict that pain on him? How could I blow up our entire life for one stupid, thrilling, horrifying mistake? But how can I not tell him? How can I live with this lie for the rest of my life? I don't expect anyone to understand or to forgive me. I don't even forgive myself. But maybe, just maybe, by saying it out loud, by stripping away the secrecy, I can start to breathe again. I can start to figure out who I am now after this. And maybe, somehow, I can find a path to being a better, more honest person. Thank you for listening. I look down, then back up, my eyes still brimming. A silent plea in my expression before the video gently fades out.